Listen, who are you really? Be honest. If I strip away your name, your job title, your hobbies, and all the little labels you cling to, what's left of you? The answer isn't easy to find, is it? You might feel a knot of resistance in your gut right now. That's good. That's your ego trembling, desperate to keep its mask on. You've worn this mask for so long that you mistake it for your face. In fact, the very word person comes from persona, Latin for the mask through which an actor spoke. By definition, your personality is a performance, a role. And who handed you the script? Parents, teachers, friends? Your whole life you've been told who you are and what role to play. Think about it. You have a mask for every occasion. One for the public, another for close friends, maybe even another that you show only yourself. You switch them without even thinking. A social chameleon. But if you can change personalities like costumes, which one is you? That question haunts you in quiet moments. Have you ever felt that confusion? The hollowness when the acting stops and you're not sure who you are anymore? You weren't born with that persona. You crafted it to survive. Think back. As a child, you learned certain behaviors got you praise and others got you punished. So you adapted. You put on whatever face you needed to win love, or at least avoid rejection. Over the years, that protective mask hardened into your personality. Now your ego feeds on approval like oxygen, terrified that if you ever revealed what's beneath, you'd be cast out. Be honest. Have you ever shown anyone the real you? Or have you worn the mask for so long that even you can't tell the difference? Think carefully, because the truth might scare you. You say you want to be understood, to be loved for who you truly are. But do you even know who that is anymore? Late at night, when it's just you in the mirror, do you ever see a stranger staring back? Let's shine a light on that stranger in the mirror, your so-called ego. It's the voice in your head that says, I, the little phantom you imagine living behind your eyes, steering your body like a driver in a vehicle. That ghost in the machine is what you've been calling me all along. But here's the harsh truth. That separate self you think is you doesn't exist. It never did. The very sensation of being an ego inside a bag of skin is, as one philosopher put it, a dangerous hallucination. Why is this ego illusion so dangerous? It leaves you feeling utterly alone in a hostile universe. If you believe you're a separate, isolated self, everything else starts to look like the enemy. You come to see yourself as a tiny, fragile consciousness stuck in a bag of skin, confronting a vast external world that doesn't give a damn about you. Life turns into a battle. You versus everyone else, you versus nature. Always trying to bend the world to your will. It's a miserable way to live. But it's the only way an isolated ego knows. It's no wonder you feel so anxious, so alienated. Living this way is exhausting. For years, you've been running on the hamster wheel of this illusion, and it's wearing you down. How many times have you sensed it? That loneliness, even in a crowd. The fear that the world outside is indifferent or even hostile. This is the inevitable pain of the ego's lie. It boxes you into a tiny corner called me and pits you against everything else. Of course, you suffer in that prison. But what if this whole story is built on a misunderstanding? What if the boundaries you imagine between me and world are as thin as stage scenery? A clever illusion. Consider for a moment that everything you take for granted about being a separate person might be wrong. You've assumed all your life that you are a separate individual navigating a world of others. That assumption is about to crumble. The truth is both far stranger and far more liberating than the little myth your ego lives by. Your culture has trained you to see life through a narrow lens. In the West, we've treated the universe like a machine built by a distant engineer or a mindless clockwork accident. Either way, we think of ourselves as isolated cogs or creatures in a lifeless mechanism. But in the East, a very different picture emerges. The universe isn't a machine at all. It's more like a play. In Hindu philosophy, they call it lila, the divine play of life. God, or reality, isn't a separate architect. It's the actor playing all the parts in the cosmic drama. Follow this idea to its conclusion. If the world is a drama, then you, your personality, your ego, are just a character in a grand script. A mask, not your essence. It's a radical reframe of identity. The Hindus have a saying that all beings are God in disguise. The self, dressed up as you and me, pretending not to be itself. That means the real you isn't the social mask at all. The real you is the one wearing the mask, the actor behind the role. So who is this actor wearing your mask? It's not your public persona or some improved version of you. It is the self, the one consciousness playing every part. This is what you really are, the deep I that you've never fully known, the one who grows your hair and beats your heart, is the universe itself, peeking out through your eyes. As Alan Watts put it, the you that is not your ego is God, the fundamental ground of being that always was and always will be. I know this sounds outrageous. To a typical Westerner, claiming I am God is insane or blasphemous. Remember, Jesus was crucified for even hinting as much. For centuries, we've been taught God is a distant king and we are mere subjects. So how could you possibly be that? But from the Eastern perspective, this isn't hubris at all. It's an obvious truth. Not that your little ego is the Almighty, but that beneath the ego, your true identity is the same one reality that others call God. In simple terms, the real you is not a part of the universe. You are the universe itself, masquerading as a person. Think of a wave on the ocean. It rises up with its own shape and momentary form, and it might foolishly think, I'm separate, I'm different from the sea. But a wave is just the ocean in disguise. In the same way, you are not a separate drop lost in the universe. You are the universe itself, expressing as you. You are what the whole cosmos is doing here and now. One of the eyes of the cosmos through which it gazes at itself. The one self shines behind every face, playing hide and seek through a million masks. This isn't mystical poetry. It's plain reality. You are not an island. You never were. Your body cannot survive without air from the atmosphere, water and food from the earth, warmth from the sun. Take those away, and you vanish. In fact, you exist only as part of a vast ecosystem, like one cell in a larger body. There is no sharp boundary where you end and the rest of the universe begins. Physically and spiritually, you are an expression of the whole, inseparable from the whole. Take a breath. I know this is a lot. Part of you might feel a rush of wonder. Am I truly the whole universe? But another part, your ego, is probably trembling. It feels like it's being erased, and in a sense it is. The idea of letting go of your small, familiar identity can feel like dying. The mask doesn't come off without a fight. So if you're scared right now, that's all right. Let your ego scream if it must. Observe that fear calmly, almost as if from the outside. Who is it that's watching your fear right now? That quiet witness is the real you, and it's untouched. The panic, the clinging, all of it is just the mask reacting, not the self. Your ego is afraid that without it, you'll be nothing. But the truth is, without it, you are not nothing. You are everything. Understand, nothing real is ending here. What dies is only the illusion of separateness. The persona falls away, and the reality beneath is revealed. A reality that was always present. Your true self cannot be destroyed. It was never born in the first place. It is the living universe itself, and it remains when all masks are gone. The reality that always was, is, and will be, as Watts described. That is what you really are. And with the death of the illusion comes liberation. It's like waking from a nightmare of being small and alone. The truth washes over you. You are free, the desperate little actor who craved approval, who lived in fear. That wasn't the real you at all. It was only a role. Now you step off the stage and realize the spotlight of existence has been shining from within you this whole time. You might wonder, why would the universe do all this? Why hide itself in trillions of forms? Why pretend to be this limited, struggling person? Think of it from the perspective of the infinite self. If you knew everything and controlled everything, it would be like watching a movie when you already know the ending. Utterly boring. So what would you do? You'd play a game. You'd deliberately forget who you really are, just to have the thrill of remembering. You'd lose yourself in a grand game of hide and seek, Lila, the divine play, so that one day you could wake up as a human being and say, "Ah, I remember now. I'm it." How do you know that's not exactly what's happening right now? Seeing through the illusion can be jarring. It's like a cold light switching on in a dark room, harsh and unforgiving. But it shows everything clearly. For the first time, you see reality as it is. Even if it's not pretty, you might feel grief for the years you spent asleep, playing a part that you thought was you. But knowledge is power, and now you know. You see the game for what it is. The lights are on, and you can't fool yourself in the dark anymore. And now you face a choice. You could try to unsee this truth, retreat into the comforting lie of your old identity, and pretend that you never peeked behind the mask. Many people do exactly that, but deep down, you would always know you're pretending. The other option is to live in this clarity, to step forward and embrace what you truly are. Now that you see the game, how will you play? This is the moment of lucid responsibility. You can't plead ignorance anymore. You can't blame fate or hide behind, "That's just how I am." You see through those excuses. Yes, the world around you still poses challenges, and you are just one expression of it. But now you understand your part in the design. You may not control every event, but you do control how you play your role. In a world full of unconscious actors, you can choose to act with eyes open. Don't let this realization be just a passing high. Understanding means nothing if it doesn't change how you live. Do something with it. If you stay still, you'll fall back asleep. And if you fall back asleep, you know what awaits you. Another life on autopilot. Nothing will have changed. Before closing, leave one sentence in the comments. Not a reaction, not a slogan. One brutally honest sentence that marks the moment you stop lying to yourself. Disappear, live. And when you're ready, come back. I'll be waiting where I always am, on the edge, where it all begins.